Hey everyone, I'm back, and today we're going to be talking about Lethal Weapon 3. And this movie came out in 1992, and it's directed by Richard Donner. And I enjoyed this movie. I don't think it's better than 1 or 2. And I haven't seen 4 yet, so I can't compare it to 4. But I thought this movie was decent. It does manage to capture what I liked about the first two. I really liked the characters and how they play off each other, and there's some really funny moments, and the performances are really good from Mel Gibson, Danny Glover, and Joe Pesci. And Joe Pesci, I find him to be really hilarious in this movie. And he's not in the film a lot, but when he's on screen, he's pretty funny. There were some fun action scenes in this movie, especially towards the end, and my favorite action scene would be the chase scene towards the end. Not the very last action scene, but the one before that. There was a chase scene that I thought was pretty fun. And overall, it's a well-made movie, but where it kind of falls apart for me is the villain I just don't care about, and his motivation and plan are just exactly what you would expect from this series, and nothing more. And not that it needs something super complex, but it would have been nice to have something a bit different. And I never felt as though any of the characters were in any serious danger. And I always assumed, you're going to be fine, nothing's going to happen to you. And I never felt as though the villain was intimidating, and he just does some really stupid things, and I just don't even understand why. And there's some subplots in this movie that are completely pointless and don't need to be in the movie. Even if they lead to something funny, it just doesn't need to be in the movie. There's a little subplot or side story where, there's this kid working with the villain, and eventually, some things go wrong, and it leads to a lot of drama and also a bit of comedy. But did that storyline really need to be in the movie? Not really. And there are some things like that where it's you didn't really need that in the movie. I don't understand why it's there. And like I said about the second Lethal Weapon, it's well made and good, but unfortunately what's leaving me lacking is giving me everything I want and more, and that's what makes it a really great movie. And I've said this many times. A good movie at its best gives you everything you want. A great movie at least gives you everything you want and more. And that more element is missing in this movie. And also, instead of being a really great addition to the first movie or even the second movie, it's more of what you kind of liked from the first two movies, just not as good. While still good, just worse. And that's how I feel about both of these Lethal Weapon sequels, is that they're kind of unnecessary, and as much as I enjoy them, there isn't really much of a point to watching them all that much when it comes to the story, because it doesn't really add anything new. And that's really what I'm left wanting, is something new, and this series doesn't really give me anything new. It just gives me more of what I already liked, and it's just becoming less effective with each installment, unfortunately. And the overall goals of the film, and now that I think about it, is just to give you some laughs and some fun action instead of a really good story, which I kind of find to be disappointing. And the first movie does a really great job with comedy, characters, story, all that stuff. And this movie, it gives you some of that, just not all of those things that I just mentioned. And that's pretty much all this movie is. It's just fun entertainment, and I was entertained throughout, but I wasn't super connected to what was going on, and the story isn't anything special. And if you're just looking for just fun entertainment from this series, then this movie delivers, and I'm not going to take that away from it. It's just that I'm left wanting more is the problem, because I can only accept the same thing over and over again so many times with nothing new added in there. And that's not to say that this movie doesn't introduce any new characters or anything new altogether, but it doesn't really add much. It's there, but it doesn't bump it up a lot, is what I'm trying to say. And that's about all I have to say about Lethal Weapon 3. It's a good movie, it's just a movie that I wished was much better than it was. So go check it out if you haven't already. And despite my criticisms, I would still recommend it. So with all that being said, I'm going to give Lethal Weapon 3 a 6 out of 10. Thank you for watching my videos as always. If you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like and comment down below what you thought of Lethal Weapon 3, and my social media links, they will all be in the description, so follow me there. And last but not least, subscribe to be a part of Foley Nation, and I'll see you when I get my next review up, and that is going to be for Back to the Future Part 3. So look forward to that, but until I get that up, thank you for watching and have a great day.